Now let's tear into the ultimate side here. We got your team, and I'm telling you what, mate, the lights are bright. I feel like this team's playing in Vegas.
Oh no!
Talk us through what you've made, mate.
Don't put too much pressure on my team; they might not perform. But look, yeah, this is in the Challenger competition. So you guys are doing Classic. Challenger just has a little bit more salary cap hit, and if we go back, you can actually see all of our competitions here. So I'm playing right here, salary cap of 13 mil rather than 10. So I can play a little bit more of these higher tier cards. I have a strategy. I don't know if you can tell, but my strategy is to either go really high in terms of salary cap on a player or just go the base. So you can see there, I've got a lot of golds, platinums, and then I've got the bronzes in there. So that's how I like to distribute. A little bit less risk than I'm talking about with the Classic because I'm not having to play diamonds and then sacrifice for a ton of bronzes. I'm actually able to do a lot of different platinums here, and you can see sort of where they're bundled. They're bundled in that middle section. I'm really confident with the players that I'm playing there, and I think they're the highest output players that I'm going to have. So I'm happy, in my opinion, to spend my salary cap through that section there, the halves, the mids, and the edges. You can see there my hooker with Grant. Grant, one of the best maybe to ever do it, but just not going to put the salary cap on him. I just don't think there's enough of an advantage and upside for me to do it. But I'm pretty happy with my pack. So Grant, you can see their halves, Fanor, Blake, Yo. I think that's the big three this year. Probably be three of the mids that a lot of people are going to try to roll out. But don't sleep on May there on the bench, of course. He's going to be fantastic. And I've got Plath, which, you know, some people might not be doing in round one. Again, new role. He's coming into the season fit, but we're not exactly sure what we'll see. There has been some speculation that, you know, might play 80, and I can't imagine that's anything bad. It could only be good. But I got Ola, Kalomatangi as well at my edge there. So just some real high output, high upside players that could go nuclear. So pretty pumped there. Cleary, Hines, and someone that you mentioned, Fogarty.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one here. So the half spot is tough, right? So I look at my team and I go, all right, there's stacks of gold guys, you know, a different gold halves. I've got Moses there, you know, Jamal Fogarty, who you talked about a bit before here, and also Jerome Hughes as well. Fogarty in this team, why have you gone Fogarty over some of those guys?
Yeah, so look, the bottom line is I actually don't have a platinum of many of the other halves. So I do have a Moses, but it's really up to Mogus and Fogarty. And for me, this might be a little silly because I've actually always been a believer in playing the better player rather than worrying about any salary or tier of card or anything. Because normally with averages, the better player will score more than someone that has a multiplier.
And legend cards, because I'm obsessed with getting a legend card at some point soon, right? The 1 of 1 card. You're the only one who has it.
Yes,
Do
ever.
you have any legend cards?
I wish.
I actually don't.
I've never packed a legend, but I've been the witness to multiple legends being packed by others. So
always the bridesmaid, never the bridemate.
That's it. So look. It hasn't been my time yet, but I believe that I'm being made to wait because something beautiful is on the horizon.
That's so prophetic. So which legend card, because I want 2 answers here. Which one do you think you'll get? And then which one do you want to get?
Oh, I think saying what I think I will get is really difficult because there is a ton of cards I could get. The one I want, though, is Payne Haas. He's my favorite player.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe not the smartest legend to get because, like, you could argue that is he the best player? Will he be the best player for years to come? Maybe not. And we're a dynasty game, so a lot of people have that dynasty cap on a lot. They're not just thinking about now; they're thinking about 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, etc. But he's my favorite player, and just to be able to look at a legend Payne Haas every day, nothing would make me happier. Who I think I will get, I don't think I will get anyone to the standard of Payne Haas. I do think more of
you might get someone random, right?
Like, I reckon like
a possibility
a Penasini or something.
Oh, like that. Okay, that's fun. I mean, I would trade you for the Penasini.
I still want Penasini. Don't get me wrong. But look, will he be in my squad every week? Might have to stream him.
I mean, he's a legend card, though, you know. And when you win, everyone sees that legend card sitting there, and they go, "Oh yeah, this guy's a Penasini guy."
You're really making me want to just go get a legend right now and open some more packs.
Yeah, I really want one too. This is a good side, though, man. Were there any other choices that you had to make? So Max Plath there, for example, or I mean, you've gone a bit cheaper at fullback. You know, you've gone cheaper in the outside backs. Like, talk me through your rationale and some of the other options you have.
Why don't I do what our good friend in the Discord did before? Let me show you some of the depth that I have here at the position. So, you know, I've got Gagai.
Dave Fafita right there.
Yes. Oh, I know. I do have some players to come in as well. Papali'i, someone that I think is going to have a really good year, just couldn't warrant playing now, starting on the bench. But let's see how this season progresses. We know how good he was at Para. Great player. I'm big on him long term, but right now I just think it's probably time just to bench him. Hammer there, Latrell Mitchell, Reece Walsh. So some really good fullbacks to stream through at matchups this season. And that's what I'm about. I'm not going to set and forget a squad and be like, that's it. I really like using my depth and the rotation of getting different players in to make sure that I'm looking at either weak points or moments of opportunity throughout the season. Eli Katoa, definitely can't forget him. Amazing
against
player.
Parramatta round 1 too, who are possibly naming a new edge combo. So Kelma Tuolangi coming in and potentially Kautonga on the other side. So I think Eli Katoa is going to have a big day. For
some youngsters, Buller. Got Moses there as well. That's the sort of half that I was talking about before. But you can see there, these are sort of my halves. Not as many options
Luke
as
Brooks,
some of my
mate.
other positions.
I've got a Luke Brooks diamond that I'm not playing right now. But
you like Brooksy?
I wish. I think someone will trade me for him at some point for the meme.
Yes.
Because he's a bit of a cult hero, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is. But look, there are some options that I can put through over Plath and stuff. So I've got Mitchie Barnett. Do also have Tino.
Yep.
We've got Tapine. We saw him in the top 10 before, just real safe, reliable player. I've got Asako down here. And I've got the guy. I made sure that I got this card before the season started because I feel like the demand and the want for this card is significantly going to increase after round 1 when people are like, wow, he's playing really good. And why? Because his position's a winger and just no other winger is going to get the opportunity to score like him this season.
Mate, that's a scoop. That's a big scoop.
Yep.
Can I throw a question at you here too? Tommy Hazelton, right? So for him, he's a try-scoring prop. Now, Game Day Squad rewards attacking stats more. Looking back to last year, because I'm a first-year player, right? So looking back to last year, were there days where when he scored those tries, he did compete with the top boys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You'll see a bunch of different players stream through. Even like Timoko at some rounds. He had some great games last year for the Raiders. You're seeing him in our top 10. So each week we send out an email. We actually send out the 6 highest scoring players for the round. Yeah. So you'll be able to see as the season progresses, you'll see a bunch of names. Don't get me wrong. You'll have some what we call classics in there, like Cleary and some of those type of players that will feature a lot. But you will get Hazeltons. You will get these players that have big games because they're going to put up points.
Red hot. And your other sides here too. So back to the competitions there. Do you have a strong side in the Classic or the starter comp?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to my Classic next. So very similar. You can see I'm putting some salary cap on some players, but I'm doing it a little different. I'm a big believer in not trying to set the same squad across my 3 competitions because, look, if it works well, I'll probably be a little upset because why didn't I just set that squad for everyone? But I want to play some other players because you want to cheer on some others as well. Like Jacob Preston, big fan of him this year. As I mentioned, I think people sleep on him a little bit too much in terms of how good he is. Mitchie Barnett's in this squad as well. You got some names that are the same, like this big 4 right here, and Harry Grant. Jerome Hughes here. I don't know if I had a Jerome Hughes, I probably would play over Fogarty, but you got to use what you have. Got my golds here, and you can see Gagai here, so got him in for this one. RTS still the same. My 2 wingers the exact same as well, and then playing Reece Walsh, Edwards, and Tedesco. So the only difference is that Ponga isn't in his fullback rotation.
It's a stacked squad. If you scroll back up too,
and one of these cards again.
That's what I was going to say. Kaloma-Tangi, you got a few shares of him, mate.
I do like Kaloma-Tangi. Playing lock is just so fantasy friendly for forwards, and it's just one of the
lock though. Like
it is
true. Looking like edge, but
it is true.
It could change potentially, right? So I think round 1 he's definitely edge, but if they struggle, which I think they will, then maybe he moves into lock at some point.
I see it happening very similar to last season.
So you and Aitken's out till about round 4.
Yep.
A lot of talk that Jai Arrow is going to be the other edge back rower. So potentially that window opens things up where Aitken comes back in.
You get a bit more depth. You can start moving some people around.
Yeah,
for sure.
That could be the play there. So nice stash there.
So maybe not round 1. Is that what you're saying? Are you a bit hesitant to go someone like Kaloma-Tangi in round 1?
You're betting on a try. Now he scored 2 in the trial game, so he's not scared of scoring a try. But you're back.
Trial game is just a trial game, and I really dislike the fact in fantasy as a whole that people overreact to trial games.
Oh God, yeah,
way too much. way too much, in my opinion. Like, you just got to let the season play. I know, like, some players, there can be some concerning signs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying completely disregard the preseason games, because there's a lot of value in watching them, like finding a player like Sharp and, and getting to see some of these players play in different roles. But I don't think it's the be all end all. And I wouldn't overreact to some things that might have happened, because they might just be testing a couple of things out for the season.
And there's heaps of reserve graders on the field too. Like, the defense is a bit softer. Jamie Humphries dominated, but he dominated after the game was lost, right? So can't read into that too much. I guess the last thing, I'm going to throw this to you, because I've explained it a bit, but I think you can explain it better.
Yeah, go for it.
The competitions. So just in layman's terms, explain sort of how those are different. If someone's starting for the first time, they've jumped onto gamedaysquad.com.au, they've used the TCA code, which means they get a bunch of free packs. They've got a couple of diamond cards maybe, and they're not sure what to do. How should they attack this?
Well, firstly, welcome, you bloody legend, to Gameday Squad. Thanks for hopping on. Make sure you use code TCA when you're doing so, because you get some extra packs for doing it. But how our competitions and how our fantasy game works is like this. You get player cards for different players, and you use these player cards to put into your squad to then score points for a round. So we're really focused on the round-by-round fantasy games, meaning we have unlimited subs weekly. So you don't have to just worry about trying to manage those. You can get any player in or out at any time. We have a rolling lockout. So if late-minute scratchings happen, you can actually go in and take out players before the game starts. It's up to 1 minute before kickoff, which is fantastic. So you don't have to get stung with some last-minute injury, or maybe even during the warm-up. Touch wood. It does happen, unfortunately. Does happen. But starter is a bronze-only competition. So this is what we would call our entry-level one. Bronze card free. You're actually unable to purchase a single one. The only way you can get them is by trading on the transfer market, or by opening your starter packs, which you get when you sign up, but you also get by logging in weekly. This happens on Monday. You get a drop of 3 packs, so you can continue to build the squad. As we go up our competitions, these restrictions get a little less and less and less until we go to the open competition. So Classic, you have a $10 million salary cap hit, which we sort of talked about before, how you can navigate that. You can either load up on competitions, or you can just go the even spread, go the silvers, get a nice distribution of points there. Or
so you're restricted. You can upgrade a few players, but if you go over the cap, it means you have too many golds, too many platinums.
Exactly right.
Add some more bronze guys.
And the game will stop you from putting those cards in. So there's actually no way possible to go over the salary cap for that. It'll tell you you're unable to put the card in. With that, though, there's a 1 special card limit. Now, our Queensland versus New South Wales player is a perfect example of what a special card is. We also have all-star cards. There are prize cards, and they work very similar to them, but just a little bit different. So don't think about too much about all these special cards. You only get a 1 limit in Classic. In the Challenger, you increase that salary cap. You also increase your ability to play these special cards. So you get 6 in Challenger. I have none. So I'm going in there looking at some platinums and stuff. I'm really keen. I think that's my best squad that I have, and we'll see how it goes.
I was going to say, I've got the same set. So starter, Classic, Challenger, I've built as well. My Classic team's my best team, 100%. But my Challenger team, there's a few wild cards.
I think in some weeks you can be competitive. Play a couple.
I've got a big Lomax. I've got a very strong Latrell Mitchell in there as well. You saw Gagai came through. I'm going to play that card 100%. In fact, I'm 600K short on my salary cap, so that's going to boost me right up.
It will.
I can put them in for free, basically. So I'm
absolutely.
Sweet. But yeah, I don't have any of those special cards yet either. So I guess as the year goes on.
So how you get them is you either need to get the packs for Queensland versus New South Wales or All Stars. We have All Star packs as well in the store. You can use the transfer market, of course, to try to either buy one or trade for one. Or with the prize card, you actually win them by doing really well in our competition. So we focus on weekly, but if you do really well over the season, you actually get the chance to draft in a live draft to pick a prize card at the end. So we get the top 5 for each competition across the 4 that you can see in front of you now, and they'll be drafting at the end of the year. But each coach can only get 1. So if they are playing across multiple competitions and they've already won a prize card, then that's it. That's their limit done. They're only able to get the 1.
All right, that's my goal this year.
And then
to get that for Classic.
It is honestly like the greatest. Finishing in the top 5, getting that prize card.
I have another question. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah, go for it.
Rough split of people who are playing these as their primary competition. Like, are you seeing most people attacking Classic, or more people are attacking Starter, or where do you see that spread going?
Yeah, mate, it's a really good question. My personal, I guess my advice would be, if you're brand new, focus on doing Starter and Classic. because I think it's the top 5,000 or 10,000 teams win an entire set of starter packs just for putting a squad in.
Yep.
Even if you don't finish in anything, you just put a squad in to compete, you get bronze player packs just for doing it in those two comps.
Yeah.
So that's per position, and that's like hooker, mid, edge, etc., all the way down, times 2 weekly. On top of the 3 that you already get, it's the fastest way to sort of build your club and build your squad. So definitely, please be doing that at the minimum. But I would start in Classic and the starter competition. And you'll see and tend to find, I think last season, Classic was the most played. And then Champion was the second most played.
Right, okay.
But I will say the starter and challenger competitions were only introduced midway through last year.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Because, I would say it would skew towards probably Classic starter. But you make a champion team, and you put your players in. And what you were saying too about trades as well. So those bronze players are where I'm targeting too. So
For sure.
I made a trade where I sold a gold Royce Hunt for a bronze Latrell Mitchell.
Love it.
And I love the gold, right? But I'm seeing those players and thinking, you know what? I just want some bronze players. And there are other people who are playing different competitions. We won't go through it today, but they're targeting the squad builder competitions where you're trying to build a certain roster and you need maybe 6 Tigers players that are gold minimum and all this other stuff. So they're playing those games. I'm not playing those games just yet. I'm targeting these competitions here in the fantasy component, but one day I'm sure I'll grow into that too.
Yeah, for sure. No, look, it'll be interesting to see how the people spread across the competitions, but the transfer market is one of the most useful tools that you can have in the game.
Yeah,
because you're just able to, and I wouldn't be shy of using it as well. If you are a new user and you think, you know what, like who's going to want to trade for this card, for the card that I'm asking? You just don't know. Someone might have 3 copies of that card and what they want is exactly what you're holding on to and you're scared to put up. So just list the cards because you just never know when a good deal is around the corner and when you can put that player straight into your squad.
Bang. And one thing I'd say on the trades too, one thing that's worked for me is better player, lower tier of card for worse player, higher tier of card, or vice versa.
Yep.
So if you want Isaiah Yo you just want Isaiah Yo in general, you're not going to be able to offer another bronze player for him, right?
Exactly.
But if you can offer a gold player who's decent for Isaiah Yo in bronze, you can make that move.
Just pulling him up.
Yeah, no, he's a good shout. But
he's so good.
You got to make trades that are reasonable, and you got to make a trade where you think, you know what, if I was on the other side, I'd take that trade. Because I've seen a few trades on the market that are pretty shocking.
For sure, but there is no harm in listing up a trade because if no one accepts it, then no one will accept it. You can just
I might start roasting them on videos soon if they keep doing it. But no, look, Tom, we won't.
Gameday Squad, worst trades listed.
I mean, it's a pretty good video.
2025.
Do we do it? Rate my trades?
We should.
All right, that's the next video. But look, thank you for jumping on, Tom.
My pleasure.
Guys, this has been Gameday Squad, real deep dive. We've sort of gone through a lot of the strategy. So hopefully it's been good for you and hopefully it's equipped you to set up your team in the right way. We're competing for starter comps. That's the big thing. If you still haven't joined, it is gamedaysquad.com.au. TCA on entry. You get a bunch of freebies and you can build a very strong squad to start. Tom, final word?
Yeah, if you need any help along the way, make sure to reach out. You can email us, contact@gamedaysquad.com.au. We have a Discord server where we also offer support, or just add us at any of the socials and DM. We're always happy to help. It's the most exciting time of the year, so make sure you're getting on board now, starting to build your dream squad. We can't wait to have you. And thanks so much for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Cheers, guys.